Hey, what's up, guys? It's your boy Patience once again, and I decided to come at you guys with a little new one. In this one, I'm going to continue doing what I was doing yesterday, which was drawing my characters that I'm sure you guys are familiar with. So we're going to get back to that, and then after that, I want to show you guys another illustration that I may or may not be working on. So I'm going to try and get this loaded up for you now. To be honest with you, I have no idea why it's not. Give me a second. You should be able to see it now. Get me out of the way. At least get where I'm supposed to be. Alright guys, yeah, so I'm going to continue with what we're doing yesterday, and nice one girls for your support. I'm going to continue with what I was doing yesterday, and what we're seeing on screen now is actually one of my previous characters that I've recently been drawing on, but we have no use for this. At least not as of yet. What we're going to do is I'm trying to bring this. It's actually, the thing I don't like is that it heats up a lot. Anywho, I'm going to try and go through with it anyway. Let me just do this. God. I think I've done something I was not supposed to do. Oh, jeez. Yep. And if I'm lucky, it won't mess me up. That's actually good I didn't do live stream. Oh, that's out of the way. Alright, yeah, so we're gonna continue. I'm gonna keep that going, actually. I've got my girls here telling me, I've got some people here on my right telling me to turn off the flashy lights, and that will help with the cooling situation, but I'm gonna keep it going for now. So let's see what we can do. We're gonna go with this guy. I think we're just gonna go ahead and let this out a bit. Alright, so we got this. And then you might be able to see a few of my illustrations. So this is something else that I'll be working on. This will be I'm not sure if you've actually seen the poster, so I'm going to try and yank it out here for you guys now. So this is a poster that I had done back in, I think I did this back in 2016. or it could have been 2019. So ever since I did that, I always said to myself that I wanted to upgrade it. I was in the middle of working on it. You can see a few characters in the background. I was never really satisfied with it because the style of drawing that one had went for in order to achieve this. So I said that I was going to get through and do it my darn self, and well, that's where is it? That's where this comes in. So I've drawn it up in rough, and I'm going to draw over that. But because we're here, and I did say we was going to continue from this, you can see that I've kind of modeled it out a bit more, fleshed it out a little bit more. And now the idea is to color her down. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to spend a little bit of time putting some finish mats on her, and then after that I'm going to just let you guys follow me step by step in this one. So I'm not sure if you can see my folders here. In fact, what I'm going to do is, in this instance, I'm going to move me over to, I believe that will be your left, and that way you can see what I'm doing here on the right side of the screen. So this is the master folder. So what I'll do is I'll just go ahead and name this master, and then I will probably come here and check it out, and this will be a light, rough light. So R light. I'm not going to do this the whole way. And what's this? This is, I think this is a random. Alright, so we're just going to leave it here for now, but roughly that's what I'll do. And as this is the master, I'll probably go ahead and put a green. Everything that's rough, I'll usually take it out and put it in red, just to let me know that it's to be slung out. Yeah, just to let me know that it's being slung out a little bit. So so now what I want to do is I want to I mean, her line art is still a bit rough, but that's something I can clear up near the end or at the finish before I post it or deliver it. So I'm gonna use my object tool, or what's it called? I'm gonna use my operation tool, object tool. I'm gonna click here, and it takes me straight to the color of my my character. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna create. Give me a second here. That should do it. Getting a bit too much glare back. So I'm on my Surface Pro 6, and one bad thing about the Surface Pro 6, everything else is damn near perfect. Obviously it's a portable device, so I can take this device and outside with me and draw anywhere I like. Obviously I've got my reasons as to why I don't, I guess you could say, task myself with such duties. But you'll have to see a few of my previous uploads for that kind of information. But yeah, so it's a portable device and you can take it anywhere you like and you can draw. You've only got a couple hours, if anything, minutes when you're using some tools such as this. This is Clip Studio's Paint EX version 2. I want to upgrade to version 3, but I'm in a circumstance at the moment, so I'm unable to. So yeah, the Surface Pro 6 is very brilliant. It's got a nice little pen that you can use, a Surface Pro pen, which I think is perfect. But the screen gives off too much glare back, so it's not good with light and light balances, etc. unless you enjoy looking at yourself. Anywho, what I'm going to do is over here on the right side, I'm going to click this one, which is the raster layer. This one's the vector layer, and I love using vector layers because I'll show you why. If I draw, I want to get through that, just give me a second. Oh, and the Surface Pro is a touch screen, which is pretty neat. So if I draw like this and then I grab the object tool, I can move each of these lines about. So if I draw something and I'm not fully satisfied with how my lines are, I don't have to delete it and go all the way back just to redraw the line. Let's see if I can't do it on this. leaving it empty, of course. And that's a good thing about the raster layer. Obviously you can convert a layer to another layer, but in this instance I'm going to get rid of that layer and I'm going to get the, oh sorry, that was a vector layer. What I'm going to use now is the raster layer. So when you get the raster layer, this is just like drawing with pen on paper, but if I draw with it and I get the tool, you don't have that same function. You can only move the line. You can do the same with the vector layer, move it, but you can also edit your lines. But with with raster layers, you can't. You know, what you draw is what you get. And to rub it out with the if I get enough one of these, which is a vector layer, if I use the rub on the vector layer, I just have to touch it, the vector line vanishes, we'll delete that. But with the raster line, I touch it with the rubber and it rubs out. It's just like drawing on paper. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to convert this into, first off I always start with color burn. I'm going to click on her skin, and then I'm going to, because that's, you know, her base color, so we're going to use the base color to get like a nice shadow, a shadow light. Right, so I'm satisfied with that. If I'm not, I'll come here, I'll probably change this to HSV and I'll turn it to more of a dustier color, and I'll get, you know, maybe another, you know, but we're going to stick with her color for now. We can always edit it afterwards. So at this stage is very important, because you've got your little picture, you're satisfied with your picture, and now you've got to say to yourself, where is the light coming from? Now there is something that I want to bring out. In fact, I think I might tell you in this one. So what it is if I come here, get a new thingy, just so you can see this line here, this one that I'm drawing over, this is a reference line for myself. And this line is practically going to let me know that there's a light source that's coming to a head, but this is a special kind of light source. So I don't want this light source giving off shadows, and I don't want it interacting with anything else besides what it's touching. So I can get rid of that. So that line is for me specifically and for my character specifically. So the point behind that is the reason why I'm planning my light source. So my light source is probably going to come from maybe our position straight on. I could do, in fact I've actually been kind of getting into lighting that comes from down below. So, you know, like as if the camera's here and it's looking at her and the camera's giving off light. So I want maybe I want the lighting to be from there, or maybe it'll be from our way, it's coming this way. If the lighting's coming from down below, it might interact with this one, which might ruin the point of that. So I think I might go for the lights coming from our position. I could also let the light come from behind her, so then practically everything's in shadows. So I'll just be drawing like an outline around her, which could actually be neat. So we'll give that a little look first. So we'll just do it like that. And then everything else is in shadow. So we just come up with this. It should all be on the same layer. So we'll do it like that. Alright, we'll see how this looks first. What happened? So we got bam. Oh, that's good. We just do it the long way. Okay, so that's how we're going to do it for now. Then I'll do that. Then what I can do is I can now just use my pen to draw an outline where the light's hitting that. You get my point? So this way, when the light touches her, like my reference light, when that light touches her, I get the effect that I want, and it's going to look amazing. I ain't thought about what color it is, but I can give you a little kind of what do you call it? Do I still have it? Alright, so it's going to look something like that. It's going to be like feathers falling around her, and then that light's going to be on her. I was thinking of drawing her with a wing, and there's other stuff that I want to implement into this, but for now we're just going to keep it simple. So we might just go with something like that. This way things are done nice, quick and easy. I don't want to spend too long on this picture, not because I don't want to, but because the Surface Pro, it does heat up quite a bit, but in a minute we're doing okay. So we'll just bring this up. Yes, the key to this picture was the boobs. I felt anyway. So I'm also going to upload the making of this video in a time lapse, so you don't have to stick around and watch this stuff. Okay, so we might even get a bit more lighting coming across this bit here. So I might have it like this, just to emphasize the size of the cup. Okay, and we know that light does give off, skin does give off light reflections, so light bounces off skin pretty easy, so we might play around with that as well, but for now this is good. So now that we've got this out of the way, what I'm going to do, I'm not sure if you can see the blending mode. I'm hovering my pen over a certain situation. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click the double folder where it says clip to layer below. So I'm going to click that. When I click that, what happens is wherever I draw outside of the character, nothing happens, but wherever I draw inside the character, so long as the cell that's atop the previous cell, so long as they're together, the new cell will always draw atop of that cell. So anything you draw will always, like for instance, if I get rid of this and I draw from outside the layer and I come in, I don't draw on anything else, just that one cell frame. So that's the beauty of clipping to the layer below. So I use that sometimes quite a lot. It helps, it's a lot handy, and it saves a lot of times and having to do it the other way, which is the manual way. So so now I know as well that this particular shadow color is not breaching beyond where the edge of the beneath color. So so at this stage, what I could do now is I can get creative. So I'm going to create a layer underneath. This way I don't have to go through the process of clipping it to the layer again. If I want to, I can move this layer above. There's nothing wrong with doing that. Or I could have duplicated the layer below and erased everything that I'd done prior in order to keep the same settings, because I might just go ahead and use color burning it. And I'm going to test the colors. We get a nice burn. So I might just kind of go over certain regions that I want darker than usual. And just color these bits in. The bits that are like very far away from the light, and are covered by other aspects, like maybe hair or like darker regions. And this bit is like the furthest part away from the light, so we're most likely going to put this bit here in shadow, and colour these lines in properly, to make sure that I've filled it in. I think that was filled. Nope. Oh wow. Let's close that gap. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is just remove some of this lines. It's coming a bit. I might just play around with this bit a little bit. Or what I might even do is kind of do it like this. Test everything, see what works. That doesn't work. I don't feel this one's working too well. There we go. So I might do it this way. Let's go bam. And go bam. Okay, that works. So as that works, we're going to finish it on this side. We'll just do it like that for now. And then we know your armpits are likely to going to get very dark, so we can draw it in there a little bit, and we can probably just put a little bit there, bam, bam, color that. This ain't gonna be like a tutorial, so I'm not gonna kind of do like every step that I'm doing and how to. If you want that, just give me a shout out, comments down below, and we can get back to that for sure. Now forehead is obviously very far away from the light, so I'm not gonna spend a lot of time on this. I'm kind of like just flying through this, but what I will do is I will neaten it up when I'm gonna post it properly. But I'm having to take shortcuts because I don't want my Surface Pro playing up on me, shutting down on me because it's overheated and all that jazz. So I'm gonna come around like this. I'll fill that in, and then we can just kind of get rid of this. Keeping the contour of the forehead is something good to keep in mind. So we might get to that. Maybe that might be a bit much. So we'll come back to this bit. We'll get to the nose. The nose is something that's most certainly going to be far away from the light. We get under the mouth. We'll get in the corner of the eyes here. You can also use the brush and then lower the sides of the brush and just kind of graze your pen gently over the screen until it fades out to a certain color. You can also use it and select the color and kind of like gradient it back in. So we end up with something like that. Another place that's gonna have least light is in her ears. So we just color that in. You can even come out here, color this bit. I'm gonna have to get in close here because I might have breached the inner line of what I'm trying to do. Okay, so that's looking pretty darn fine thus far, and I think from by here you kind of get the gist. So we're gonna color in beneath these boobs. And what I'm gonna do is just kind of, oops, just bring it in. I think that's actually wrong, so I'm going to curve it. because we've got hair on this side, we'll just kind of shade this in a little bit. But I might get rid of the shadow because I don't think it's supposed to be so prominent. And then we're most certainly going to get a shadow line in here. Try and keep in mind the contour of the silhouette. So you want to, this way it helps to keep that kind of the 3D vibe, you know, like as if it's got volume. So we're most certainly going to color in here. That's not right. We've got levels to this, so I don't need to go too close. Sorry about that. I know people don't usually like one taking control of their screen as such. Now here, this bit here is going to be coming very far from the light, so we can probably get under here as well. We just go bam, bam, and color that. We just bring this bit down, just manually color in here a little bit, just to keep ourselves active. We might just taper that off, come this way, and it's actually pretty fun once you kind of begin to get into it. So that's that, and then we might, the light this side, you don't want to shade too much because the light might come bouncing. The light might come bouncing through here. You might get light coming through this way. As we know, light gets damn near everywhere, so we'll get rid of that line. If it'll let me. And we'll probably put that line mostly up top but end it short. So like that. Okay. And then what we could do is even take it along. So like that. Okay, and I think that looks pretty darn neat for what we're going for. Oh, another place that's very far from the light is beneath the neck. And even still, we might go ahead and add another coat of shadows. I've got to draw a thumb in as well, but I'll get back to that later on. So that bit's likely to get a little bit of darker shadows. You might want to catch in here a little bit. That's optional. Anywho, so now we have a second coating of shadows. Now that we've done that, I've got to think about saving my work every couple of seconds. Now that we've done that, we can probably just come here and just, you know, just kind of circulate this. What I might start doing is saving my file so that you guys can use my file as well, so that you can kind of like follow along if that's what you're into. Let's just kind of take that out a bit. What I want to do is just keep that circulation. I want these boobs to be beautiful. But we just want this bit tapered and coming around. We can probably do better with that, but we're just going to leave it like that for now. And we got something that's like that. So I'm satisfied with that. So what I'm going to do now is, I think what I'll do is I'll move on to her eyes. Her body's looking gorgeous, her body's looking beautiful. So now I'm going to move on to the eyes and see if I can't make those eyes be somewhat calling. So I'm going to go on to these. I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to grab the option or the, what do we call it? You know what? I just remembered something before I do that. These part of the eyes might be a bit darker to everywhere else. just and this bit here. There we go. But with this one, again optional, but I think I might just toast on that a little bit. And now I'll grab my operation tool, click on our eye, and then I'll create another cell layer from a raster layer. I'll create another cell layer from a raster cell, as it were. And then with this one again, I'll clip it to the layer below. So here's the eye color. And once you clip it, you know for sure, because the red line will end up beside the layer. So your cell's going to get another, it's going to have a red bar beside it. So you know you clipped it to the layer below. So now what I'm going to do is, I know an eye color, but I'm going to take an eye color. Instead of using color burn, this time I'm going to use multiply. And should we use multiply? No, this time I'm going to use lighten. Sometimes I'll use screen, and I like some of the other ones like pin light, hard light, and all this stuff. But for now, we're just going to use screen. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this color and I'm going to make it a brighter version of itself. By double clicking here, I'll double click that, and then it gives me access to make the color brighter. So let's just say I'll put it here, then I'll click on my pen, and then I'm just going to put something like this once. And already we got a little cooling in our eyes. So to ensure that we got a really good cooling, I'm just going to put like a little kind of complement to the bow. And already we've given our eyes a little bit of depth. So now I'm going to do it the other way. I'm going to duplicate. I'm going to clear that by clicking on this icon here, and then I'm going to turn this one now to multiply. This I'm going to click the original color of our eyes, and then I'm going to grab it from like the top and just circulate. I'm going to come in close so you can see this. I'm going to grab it from like here. I'm just going to come around and just come just like that. And then I'm going to do the same with this eye. But this one I'm going to kind of catch it from here, so it starts a bit sooner, and I'm just going to kind of bow it around just a little bit. Then I'm going to come beneath, I'm going to create another one. It automatically clips it to the layer below. And I'm going to lighten this color again, but not so light this time. And then I'm going to set this one to lighten again, and then I'm going to just let it go a bit darker so we can see it. Okay, we might need to go above. Give me a second. Sometimes it's got to be lighter than the color beneath. Well, so it's going to be lighter than the color. So I'm going to put it back beneath, and then we're just going to put a little bit more. So you got like a little notion of a light value. There's a light of value in there, and then you can even use that to kind of like come here, but I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to leave it like so. Now you could get creative with it and say I grab my multiply, so that was the multiply one, and then I might change the color. So I might say to myself, what color range would come after the blue spectrum? So I might go purple, but then I might kind of extrematize it and take it to red, and then I'll click edit, I click convert. So this time what I'm getting is a little bit of a red hue in our eyes, or red saturation. That one maybe not look too great, so I'll come to purple. I'll say let's try the purple. And that one might give me something that I'm looking for, and maybe I want something a little bit more pungent. So I'll start playing around with my my system here. This gives me a bright blue, so I'm going to get a hard light. That really brings it out. So I could keep that and then kind of just dull it that way. And that's how I would usually play around with the eyes. But in this instance, I'm going to keep it at my original settings. Because what I could do is I could say, right, I'm going to create another layer, clip it again, and instead of trying to change my colors, I make my own color. So like, let's just say I get blue, and I just put blue atop the eyes like this. So you begin to get another value of color in our eyes. Sometimes the more value you can put in there is the better, and the more life you kind of bring out. Once you do that, you can then kind of like just kind of dull it down a bit, you know, so it's like there's something else that's in the room that's playing with our eyes. So what I would do then is maybe change this one then, and just bring it down a bit, maybe bring it up a little bit. Yeah, we could go probably there. But what I'll do now is I'll say I'm going to set this to amber, and I'll switch it off because it's something that might apply to the character, so I'll come back to that, play with it later on. What do we have to do now? Now, what I could say is I want to play with her hair. But before I go to her hair, what I want to play with is the horns, because they're looking cute. So I'll come here, I'll do the same thing, but this time everything else I kind of do multiply. I stick to multiply. It is good to test out some of the other functions in there, but multiply 9 times out of 10 or 7 times out of 10, you're going to get the quality that you want. So in this instance, I'm going to take my red value, I'm going to click here, I'm going to bring it up, and I'm going to click here and I'm going to drag it down, so I'll get a value like that, very dusty. And then I'm just going to kind of like just come around it, so it'll be like this, or maybe like this. Click that, and then I'm gonna color that. Now that is a bit too fruity, so before I edit it, I'm gonna come do the same to this one. Probably grab it from here and come around. I don't need to paint that with the paint bucket. I'm just gonna do it like so. And because it's horns, you can go about this one of 2 ways, and I've got 2 favorite ways of doing things. One would be using the filter tool, going to blur, going to gradient blur, and it automatically blurs your colors for you, or your cell. If that doesn't do it, then I get the blur tool, I lower the blur tool to a size that I'm satisfied with. So that's 25, let's go 12, 12 would do, and I gently blur the shadow. Now I tend to find this to be important. Nighttime, you'll get soft shadows, but you're more likely to get hard shadows. If you're shining your light, if your light is close to you and you shine the light onto something, you're gonna get like a hard line from dark to light. If you're far away from a light, you're gonna have very soft shadows. It kind of like brushes over your skin. So the light is behind her, So we can go with that notion. The light's kind of being brushed along our horns. So that's how I'm going to do it here. Usually you can play around with the brush tool a little bit better, but we're rushed for time. So we're just going to play around with this just until you can't really see that line, and then we're going to turn it to this. We're going to go to transparency, and we're going to get the brush tool, and we're just going to clean up what we don't want. The reason why you use the brush tool is because it uses the same methodology as the blur tool. As it paints, it kind of leaves a smudge, it kind of gradients its way through a color rather than just blocking out a color. The good thing about this as well is it kind of gives off a different shading technique to everything else. So the horns, they have a different feature to it. I could even go ahead and give the horns a darker outline, which would be smart. So if I come here, I may not remember what layer I drew the lines on. I'll just come here and then just give them a darker line. And do the same here. And that will be that. Okay, so that's looking neat. Now what I want to do is I'm going to tackle the bits that I'm kind of scared of. So I'm just going to go in at it now. So I'm going to do the hair. So I'm going to click here, click on the hair, same as before. I'm going to click the hair. And then I'm going to click on the clip to the layer below. And then again, I'm going to use multiply. Now, after I've done this, what I will then do is use color burn. So I can fade some of these colors in and get a nice burn effect at the same time. I'm going to show you what that looks like afterwards. For now, we're just going to dive in. So how I'm going to do this is, again, I'm going to look for all the darkest regions. Oh wait, where did I put this? I'll put this in a complete wrong spot. This is right here, right? Yep. This one should be here. Subtract. That'll be why. And then I'm going to just paintify that. I want to stay out a little bit so I get an idea of what I'm doing and how I'm doing. This bit we can kind of come it like this once. Not really so much like this one. We want to use this from here. Let's go bam. I want to get the effect of the light coming through. You don't want to blot her out in too much shadows. All of this can be in dark. This here can be in dark. In fact, this bit here, these bits here on the floor, I'm going to actually be picking up a little bit of light. I'm going to zoom in just to ensure that we get this right. I'm going to ensure that we caught everything here. Then I'm just going to kind of like, now what I could do is actually use the gradient. I'm going to bring the brush size up a little bit and just take away some of that shadow. Another good thing to remember is shadows try to absorb shadows will more likely try to absorb its environment with its existence, and light just kind of shadows actually try to exist. It's almost like shadows are saying, this is my region and I was here first, and then the light comes in and tries to make a region, but the shadows are trying its hardest to kind of like consume absolutely everything. So when you look at it that way, remember that your object or the object belongs to the shadow more than it does to the light, unless the object is in a complete white space. Then it would be harder for shadows to, take advantage of, its existence or something else's existence. But if you just got like a simple situation like my hand, you're going to have more shadows on me than you would ever have light, as it were. And the shadow will always try to intrude on light's, I guess you could say, existence. So that's why I've kind of receded the light that much. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to come here. This bit in here is going to be very dark. I think I'm seeing a breach there. So I'm going to use this and fill that. We're going to catch this with a loop like this, because the shadow is trying to jump around her hip to go to the other side, but light is banished it from that region. Is another way of looking at it. This bit we can put all in darkness, but then as we get here we can probably use this tool again, and rather than just kind of like saying no, there's no light there, we'll use this. And make sure you tip your brush right, so the right parts are being placed into shadow and the angle of the lighting is right. So in this instance, I think I want the light kind of coming down. Could be coming from any angle, but I think it's coming from down. So that's how you do that. As you can see, it looks like it's a gradient. It looks gradiented. That's because the way I've shaded in her here, I used the brush rather than just the pen. And I'm guessing by now you kind of get the picture. Here, what we're going to do is all of this is going to be in darkness. Get close so you can see. All of this is going to be in darkness, but then as we come here, we're going to fade away from everything else. So this bit might have a little bit of edge light. We're going to come like this. I'm going to use this and grab all of this and just go bam. Now we can just color in this. You ain't got to worry about overlap because we've already constricted everything to the layer. So we're going to come like that. I might come down a bit too low there, but for now it is okay. Don't worry if you don't catch every little detail. We can always come back for that later on, but if you find that you're a forgetful person, as I can be sometimes, then try and tackle as much of this as possible while you can. We're going to come in here, we're just going to darken this. Let's go back, use this, and we don't want that in the light because that's coming on the front side of that. And just so we catch this bit better, we're just going to make it a bit deeper. And I'll say that looks relatively jolly fine. As that's the case, what I'll do is I'll come in a bit harder here. Say we've got a harder edge light. And what I could do as well is this bit here just wouldn't happen, but I'm just going to put a little light there as well. So I'm going to come here, just go like this. Just kind of tip it, and then because the light bounces, I'm going to pretend we've got a little light bounce there as well. And then we focus on the rest of it, which is here. So we're just going to go here, go black. It's not black, but yeah, it's the dark color. This bit we want in the light. We're going to catch it here as well. Too much about there. going to come down like this. Try and keep the lines straight if possible. And then I'm going to come in here, I'm going to grab all of this. Let's go, bam. And then this bit here, I'm going to bring it around like this maybe, or I'm just going to go bam. I'm going to come here and go bam. I'm going to tuck all of that bit up there. Come around this way a little bit. Make sure I'm not overlapping myself here. So make sure that's free from overlap. I didn't actually intend to spend so long on, but so far so good. The system's relatively cool, so we're just gonna come in here, bam, 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 color that, and then what I'm gonna do is just kind of give this a little bit of an edge line, and we could probably give it a little edge line. We need that bit. This bit here, I'm gonna catch that in dark, and then this bit here, I'm just going to go ahead and add that in darkness. So we end up with something similar to this, right? Alright, let's come this way a little bit. Let's play with the shadows. I love Batman DC's way of doing shadows. Like Gotham, you know, like they use black. Sometimes they use black for shadows. Spawn. I really do love Marvel's use of shadows, and I think I said Marvel. Some use of Marvel's use of shadows, and I really love DC and DC's use of shadows, especially for Batman and Spawn. They something about it I think is awesome. So if you ever want to get used to doing these kind of shadows, be sure to check out Batman and Spawn. I'll try to leave on-screen links, visual links for you to go check out in your own time. So anyway, we're gonna have light there, but I think that we ain't gonna do that. We're gonna leave it like that. Okay, so that would be the here. So in good time, so this is how it's going to look when I turn off the clippage layer. I did a good job, but usually you might have, you know, scribbles all over the place. It's looking all like this, and then you turn on your clippage and then it all vanishes. So what I could do is the light behind her, I could make it a moonlight. Sorry, I could make it like a moonlight behind. So I might just go ahead and add that kind of stuff. But for now, guys, what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave it here, and I'm going to get back to you guys later on. Maybe today or maybe tomorrow. I'm not sure. But what I do, I will do. You will see the finished picture on my DeviantArt, and you will see it on my ArtStation. And I'll also try my best to post a live drawing time lapse on my YouTube at Patience Benjamins. Anyway, guys, it's your boy Patience. Leave your thumbs and your likes and your comments down below, and if you have any queries, guys, over and out.